pinning the ball down inside the 10 and not just kicking it as far and as high as he can. He's a kid who definitely seems to understand that, and he does it every week. And I don't think he gets quite enough attention for it. And last week, it just seemed like Denver in the second half was not only on top of starting, with Khalil Mack on your back, you're starting inside your 20 and inside your 10 constantly. And that's the importance of field position. And that's why I think punters are really overlooked, and why I think King is especially good. So I just wanted to give him a little bit of credit for it too last week. It just seemed like Denver that entire second half was starting with horrible field position, and that's fantastic.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, Jim. I mean, young people who play the game now these days, I don't think that they do believe in the importance of field position. Trust me, it's very important. Field position is why the Oakland Raiders were able to actually keep themselves in this game, because even when they were down 12-0, 12-7, I mean, they kept pinning Denver. And Brock Osweiler is not the kind of guy who wants to go 90, 95 yards every time down. I mean, we got him out of there 3 and out so many times. It got to the point where you could actually start to see frustration on his face. So, yeah, I guess in a way, yeah, Marquette King did kind of win this game also, along with Khalil Mack and Derek Carr making timely passes.
And it's been that way since he took over for Shane Leckler, which is unusual for a young punter, because normally, they're thinking, I'll just punt it as high and as far as I can. And he certainly has the talent to do that. I mean, we all know exactly what he can do, but he also understands that that's not always the point to punting. And it's been refreshing this year in particular to see him do as good of a job as he's done.
No doubt. I just hope he can stick around in the silver and blacks for a long time. I know when it's time to re-up, we're going to have to fork over some change. King is one of the better punters in this game right now.
Yes, he is. And I hope John Condo's feeling better, because that was almost a big injury last week.
That was a very big injury right there. I mean, I think that the Raiders probably could have put this game away in the fourth quarter if not for that injury. That's really the only thing that kept Denver in it. I mean, you're sitting there having to go for two with a 15-12 game, and Chando can't even get a decent kick from the snap. So, John Condo, I mean, and every time they say in games, Jim, if you got to give an arm, give an arm. You got to give a leg, give a leg. And, I mean, in a game like this, you got to be proud of John Condo. He gave a shoulder for the Oakland Raiders to defeat the Denver Broncos, and that's a man that's in my own heart. I'm very, very proud to say that guy's an Oakland Raider. So he gave what he had to do, give us this win, recovering that fumble. So here's a game ball to you, John Condo. Thank you.
And that's another position that people don't really give much attention to is the long snapper, but Condo's a Pro Bowler, so that gives you a little bit of appreciation for that position too. It's watching someone else try to do it. Not as easy as it looks.
Oh, no, it's not. I don't even think I could get it off as fast and as accurate as Condo does. So while people are sitting there laughing and making jokes about long snapping, trust me, it nearly cost the Oakland Raiders a football game Sunday. So, yeah, we found out firsthand the importance of a long snapper.
Yeah, I just checked, and it looks like apparently they put him on injured reserve. So he's done.
Yeah, he's done. We got a guy that used to long snap for Chicago. He was Robbie Gould's old guy. So hopefully everything can go smoothly. Him and Chano can get some work in, and everything will just go like clockwork.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Cause that turns out, we saw it last Sunday, that turns out it was a big injury.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But we're saying we got the win, though. And that was pretty much our look here at Oakland and Denver here. And now we look ahead to a game Sunday, which is going to probably be a challenge unlike any other. This is going to be probably offensively, outside of the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of our more offensively just tough challenges with the Green Bay Packers coming in. Aaron Rodgers in that run game seemed to have gotten on track last week with Eddie Lacy going over 100 yards and getting a touchdown and a 28-7 beat down over Dallas. And I think that's probably where the game is going to have to begin. I mean, I know a lot of people think that stopping Aaron Rodgers is going to be paramount to the Raiders' chances. But I do believe that it's going to have to be stopping Lacy first, get Green Bay and throw it along, and set them dogs loose after Aaron and get everything going just the way we want it there. On offense, just play with the same way we always play. Pound Latavius Murray at him, get third and short situations, and let Carr do his thing. I'm sure Crabtree and Cooper, they're going to be hungry after pretty much being shut down by Denver's corners. They're going to want to eat. They're going to want to play ball well Sunday. And if we can do all these things, get a couple of more sacks from Khalil Mack, hopefully he hasn't used them all up, and Mario Edwards and Jelly Ellis can continue to push that pile. And David Amerson, man, he's playing well over there at corner, along with DJ Hayden didn't have a bad game either last week. So we continue to do these things, knock these guys off, and, well, I mean, just cover wide receivers such as Randall Cobb and whoever else they got over there. I think they got Jared Abbrederis also. If we can do these things, we'll have ourselves a shot in the fourth quarter of this football game. I've learned my lesson about making predictions here, Jim, so I'm not going to do that. But if the Raiders can do all these things that I just laid out here with these keys to the game, they'll be right there in the fourth quarter with a chance to shock the world one more time. What do you think about this Oakland-Green Bay game?
Well, I completely agree as far as Green Bay's offense goes. I know, Aaron Rodgers is probably right now the best quarterback in football. It would be a tough argument to dispute that. But they struggled terribly in the middle of the season, and I think a huge key to that was the fact that they had no running game. And the last 2-3 weeks, Lacy's been back. He's not 100%. You can see he's not in 100% great shape, but he's dangerous. And that's been the key as they seem to have recovered a little bit offensively. Basically against Dallas in the second half, all they did was pound Lacy and wear that defense down. And so I think stopping Lacy early is going to be key. I completely agree with that 100%. If we can do that, then absolutely we can send the dogs after Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay does not have a great offensive line. They've had a lot of injury issues with their offensive line. So that's something that if we can shut down Lacy, I can see that we'll be able to do.
And if they can get these things done, they should have a shot at it. I'd really, really love to see this week Marcel Reese be more incorporated into the offense just to cause a little bit more of a mismatch problem. Because Green Bay, they're not that great defensively. So, you're going to get the one-on-one matchups for Crabtree and Coop. Just get that third mismatch. And Seth Roberts, he's going to probably eat whatever third corner Green Bay has out there. He's going to eat their lunch. So, Demarius Randall and Sam Shields, hey, you guys be on alert. Oakland's aerial attack is coming to town, I think.
Yeah, offensively, I think we can push Latavius Murray. I think he can have go back to his normal solid production. That's how good Denver was. I can't say enough about their defense. And after going up against them, Green Bay, I think they'll be able to move the ball a lot steadier. Again, the reason why I hesitate, I don't like to disrespect players, but I don't see a cornerback on either one of their cornerbacks who can compare to Denver's. And I just think that we could look for a big week, particularly from Cooper. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. I think he's going to be ready after last week, after being shut down, to come out and have a big game. So he's the one I'm looking for.
Well, it'd be great for Coop to go over 100 yards this week here, Jim. Because Amari Cooper is actually currently 80 yards away from being the first wide receiver since that guy who played for New England, whose name will not be spoken on this program, who got 1,000 yards for the Raiders receiving in 2005. So he gets his 80 yards a day. Sunday, we got ourselves a 1,000-yard receiver, and I still think Crabtree can get there too. And at this point, Latavius Murray is actually still the AFC's leading rusher. So offensively, a lot of good things are going on here. We may not make the playoffs, but hey, let's make it hell for other people to get in, I say.
Well, I did a lot of thinking about that, and even if we don't come out. And I'm looking at the schedule here. We've got the Chargers, and then we're at Kansas City. I think we can beat San Diego, and I think Kansas City will be a tough game. So if we can close out with a couple of wins, but even if we don't, this season has been a success because we've seen what the young players can do. We've seen improvement. We've seen that they're not getting slaughtered. They're not getting walked over. They're playing good, hard, tough football. And we're even to the point where, close losses aren't good enough. And that goes towards changing the, what do they call that? Changing the
culture.
Changing the culture. And I think that's what Del Rio started to do this season. And I think that no matter what happens the last 3 games, I think that this season has been a success. I would love to come out and finish with at least 2 wins and break 5 and hit 500. But I still think the season's been a success regardless.
Well, I'm not going to take anything away from this season at all myself, Jim. I mean, I've really enjoyed watching the young guys grow up every Sunday and actually being competitive. It's like when we first started this show back in August and we made our predictions for the season, I mean, I just wanted a 7-9 record, and I wanted important football games to be played in December. And the Raiders have a chance to break both of these targets. So, I mean, I can't really be frustrated with anything they've done this season. Derek Carr, he's had lows from time to time. That just goes with being a young quarterback. And, hey, we're still not out of this thing yet. If we get a win against Green Bay, get a little help, hey, anything can happen. But for the most part, though, I do kind of echo your sentiment, though. This season, as far as what we wanted, it has been a success. And next year, I believe that the boys are going to really take off with another free agency class and another decent draft. Reggie McKenzie is getting ready to build himself a big, big, big winner here in Oakland.
Yeah, that to me is the key. The drafts have really been solid. Mario Edwards has played amazingly well this year, considering. And to me, I made a decision early that I wasn't going to look at record. I wasn't going to expect 12-4 or any of the ridiculous predictions you see when we win a couple of games. I was going to look at.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Jim.
Because, I looked last year and I thought about that London game with the Rams, which is 50-0.
No, we didn't play the Rams in London. We played them in St. Louis, Jim. We played the Dolphins in London.
No, that was in London. That was the game I wanted Dennis Allen pushed out of the plane.
Yeah, when the Dolphins smoked us, yeah.
But, it was such a bad game. It was 52-0. It was so embarrassing to watch. And that's what I hated. That's what I hated to see. I hated seeing the team embarrassed. And I haven't seen that this year. And that's what I decided to look for early. It would be great to be, 8-8, 9-7, whatever we can finish. But to me, it wasn't so much the record, but how they played. And so to me, this season's been an absolute success. And it's been that way because of the young guys.
Well, I will say the Raiders are definitely playing like a team that wants it every week. I mean, they'd still actually be seriously in the conversation, except for that 3-game hiccup they had in early November. So yeah. I think with that, they'll be able to avoid that next season. And, hey, next season could be a lot of fun. But, hey, the Raiders, I was looking at playoff scenarios here, Jim, and the Raiders, to get in, they need to win out, and the Jets and the Steelers need to lose 2 AFC games. I think the Jets can give us the 2 AFC losses, but the Steelers, they ain't losing nothing. So hopefully Denver can take our back. I know this is a very sacrilegious statement to make here on the Blackhole Brigade, but hey, hopefully Denver can give us a little love and do us a solid knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday. We got to go handle our business at home Sunday also.
Yeah, when you told me that earlier this week when that Denver had to win for the Raider playoff hopes to stay alive, I got a little bit sick to my stomach because it's hard rooting for Denver, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean there, Jim. Man, did we really just run through 30 minutes that fast, dude? This is craziness, I tell you. next year, I think we are going to have to go ourselves to at least a 45-minute to 1 hour program. Because, I mean, time's flying. The Raiders are playing good football. We're having fun, and it's just ending way too fast here. So I guess I'll go ahead.